Are you frustrated with how thrift stores ruin items with their tagging process? Well, we are.
We'll share all of the irritating ways that thrift stores tag their merchandise, plus share our profits from February 2nd through 8th. Let's get started. All right, well, the first thing that we sold was a Poshmark sale. Awkward segue. The first thing that we sold was a Poshmark sale. It was one of the Opal Palmer wildflower prints. We've told you guys about these from a previous video. This one, like I said, sold on Poshmark. It was free to us because it came from the other business that we own, which is a custom picture frame shop.
I think we started with like 20 or 30 of those.
Yeah, and they're finally selling.
Yeah, this year they've just been
they've been popular this year.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So that one, like I said, sold for $23 and plus shipping on Poshmark. Next up was a 1983 Kenner Star Wars Klaatu skiff.
Looks like Klaatu.
Klaatu skiff guard force pike weapon accessory. That's how I described it. And I totally stole that from someone else. This was like a leather pleather belt. With...
No, I don't think so. That was the...
Oh, this was something else?
It's like a plastic trident looking thing, kind of about yay long.
Okay.
Yay long.
I was wrong. We did sell a belt too.
No, we still have the belt.
We do? Obviously, I have no clue what I'm talking about.
I'm the one who goes to the inventory. Yeah, we still have the belt.
I just list the stuff, and then I just sit back and take the money.
She's the director, I'm the talent.
Whatever. Okay, so this was gifted to us. This actually may have been my brother's. Possibly.
Yeah, I think it was in that stuff you said was possibly from
possibly my brother's. So we had no cost. This sold for $19.98. So be on the lookout for vintage Star Wars stuff. This was just a little weapon.
Just a little tiny plastic weapon.
Next up was a vintage 3-piece set. The brand was Mel Howard. And this was a black and white polka dot cummerbund and bow tie and handkerchief. They were all matching. These were gifted to us from friends and family. You know who you are. Thank you very much. And they sold for $19.98. Next up was a 1988 Fleer baseball card for the Players brothers, Bill Ripken and Cal Ripken Jr. This was Kevin's card, and it sold for $2.39.
That was a nice set. In trivia, did you know that not only did the brothers Bill and Cal play on the Orioles at the same time, the manager was their dad, Cal Ripken Sr.
I did not know that, no.
Baseball trivia. Enjoy.
Next up was another of Kevin's baseball cards. This was a 1989 Bowman baseball card for the player Ken Griffey Jr.
That was actually a really good set.
And that card sold
Legit.
for $8.99. Next up was an item we found in the Goodwill bins. This came from the Fort Worth Goodwill bins, and it was a Nintendo DS black nylon soft carry case, and it also came with a microfiber cloth to clean your DS. You
don't want a dirty DS.
No, you don't. This we paid 67 cents for, and it sold for only $10.99.
We made $4 on it.
We did, yeah.
I always look at it as the ratio. What did we pay and what did we make?
That's true.
And we made
$4.26.
6 or 7, like almost 7 times what we paid for.
Yeah.
We made 6.5 times.
That's true.
To me, that's good.
Also, the effort on that one was really low.
That's very minimal.
Yeah.
Click, done.
Yeah. Next up was an American Girl doll 4 pair of stick-on earrings and toenail stickers. Some of them were missing, like it was a partially used package. This came from a garage sale. I bought a American Girl doll. It was a very valuable American Girl doll. And then it came with some clothing and some accessories, and these were inside of it. I sold the doll sold first, and we made I think we sold the doll for maybe $100 and something. And then it was a very valuable doll. And then we've sold all the clothes and accessories as well. And this might be the last item to go from that purchase. I think I had paid maybe $10 or $15 for the lot in total. I have on this item that we paid $1, and these sold for $9.63. So that was a really good purchase. And I went to that garage sale at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that American Girl doll was still there. It was crazy.
I don't know how you can go at 1 in the afternoon and there's still things there.
It was buried in a toy
now.
box. But yeah, don't count out sales at the end of the day.
Yeah, dig.
You do. Next up was an item that was gifted to us from friends and family. And this was a Tiger Rock martial arts gi. It was in a youth size. It included a kimono and some pants. And it sold for $25. This one was kind of a lower quality one, and it was also branded from the martial arts studio where it was from. Yeah. But some of the like higher quality ones will sell for a lot, especially the ones that are what's the one, the Gracie Barra?
Gracie Barra
ones,
well.
those can sell for a lot. So be on the lookout for those. Next up was an Irish County tartan 100% wool men's necktie. This one was made in Scotland. We got this at one of the Goodwill bins. I can't remember which one. And it sold for $19.98. Next up was a youth size Vineyard Vines boys long sleeve sweater. We got this at one of the Houston Goodwill bins, I believe, for $1.73. And it sold for $19. Next up was a women's Neiman Marcus cashmere blue paisley cardigan. And we got that at a garage sale for $2. It sold for $35.
I feel like normally if we see something that's Neiman Marcus, we pick it up.
Yeah,
normally.
Yeah. And it sometimes sells well and sometimes doesn't. But this was 100% cashmere.
They had a double whammy. It was cashmere and it was an expensive brand.
Next up was probably our worst sale. Well, actually, this might not have been our worst sale of the week. Yeah, this was our worst sale of the week.
I hope it was. Looking at the profit, I hope it was
we had something. We have something coming up next week that was worse. Okay, this one was a Puma women's pair of cargo, like hiking style pants. This we got from a bulk buy that I did on Nextdoor, and I paid $2.94 per item on this bulk buy. These we've had for a long time, years.
3.5 years.
Yeah, and so. We finally just marked them down until they sold. We sold them for $12 and netted a whopping 67 cents on those. Yeah,
so I don't know how we made profit on those, paying $3 for them, but
yeah, that was a squeaker for sure. Okay, next up was an art print. It was called Siete Manchas, and it was of like a bunch of Dalmatian dogs or puppies or something. And we actually have more of these. So if you like this print, you can get some more from Nina's Jewels. This was free to us. It came from our custom picture frame business. It's old stock that we don't sell anymore. And it sold for $32.29. Next up was a package of Build-A-Bear Valentine cards and envelopes. This came from a garage sale. We paid $1 for it. And it sold for $14.99.
We sell lots of cards, greeting cards, and stationery.
We got any kind of card you want.
You want cards? We got cards.
Greeting cards, postcards. Next up was a royal blue crystal rhinestone statement necklace that we got at a rummage sale for $2, and it sold for $16.
Oh, that was a nice necklace. You'll see.
Yeah. Next up was a Radio Shack Pro 7 set of 2 speaker brackets. They were brand new in the box. Kevin got those at the thrift store for $4.32, and these sold for $60.
This is why I told you like last week or the week before, vintage realistic Radio Shack.
But they have to be realistic looking.
Just keep your eye out for vintage Radio Shack and realistic, especially if it's new in box. Comp it.
Next up was a New Testament. This was from 1923, and we got that at an estate sale for $2.17. It sold for $64.
Oh, nice.
That was a good one.
Was that the estate sale with the rainbow back?
I don't remember. I don't think so. But I don't know.
We don't go to many estate sales anymore.
We don't.
Very few.
It's very hard to find stuff that you can make a profit on at an estate sale.
They've really, really jacked the prices up on everything.
Yeah.
And estate sales, there can be a garage sale on a street and an estate sale, and there'll be one car at the garage sale, and there'll be like 50 people at the estate sale.
Yeah.
People just swarm to them.
It's hard to make money at an estate sale, at least in our area. All right, next up was a vintage lot of 7 1990s and Y2K mini butterfly hair barrettes. And we got those at a garage sale for 25 cents. They sold for $13.58. And they were really vintage from Y2K. They were not just, they didn't just have that look.
See, we only made $6.55, but that's 26 times what we paid for them.
Yeah. Next up was an Adams Family desktop publishing software from vintage from 1992. We got this at an estate sale. This was a good deal because they had a box, it was probably about the size of a paper box, and it was full of vintage software. And we got that whole box for, I think, $5.
It was $5.
$5.
It was $5.
And we stretched that, man. We have
it had that Lotus 123 that we already sold a while back. It had a bunch of stuff in there. We made our money on the first sale.
We did. Yeah, that was a good deal. So that was a deal. That was an estate sale where we've managed to really find some good profit.
If you can find a box of bulk vintage software for $5, probably worth picking up.
Definitely. So we have paid just 33 cents per each item out of that box. And this one only sold for $11.98. But, this was
one of many.
This was a great, great purchase. Okay, next up was a set of 2 handmade Talavera. This is the style of pottery from Mexico. These were cobalt blue 6-inch decorative bowls.
They're pretty.
A good keyword to put in that is folk art. And these were gifted to us, so we had no cost, and they sold for $32.99. Next up was a vintage lot of 8 clear cut glass and crystal ashtrays, and included various sizes, styles, and brands. These were also gifted to us, and they sold for $49.99. This is a perfect example of items that individually had very little value, but if you collect several items of similar style and type and then lot them all together, we sold it for $49.99.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have this entire shelf in our office dedicated to just collections of items that we're waiting to lot together.
Bags of random things, bags of coins, bags of Barbie toys, bags of Disney, bags of
bags of Disney figures.
Yeah,
and
just
then
random bags.
As we find those items, in a storage unit or in a stuff that's gifted to us, or as we find them in the Goodwill bins, we set them aside in those bags, and then once we get enough to list in a big lot, we'll list them all together. Because,
and it's all little or no cost.
Yeah, there's money to be made in large lots, but not always in the individual items. Okay, next up was a pair of Old Navy women's light gray classic cinch jogger sweatpants. For some reason, these classic jogger sweatpants always sell, even though it's not for a lot of money. People are just looking for I guess it's just kind of a style for for the young kids.
Maybe.
For the youngsters.
Or maybe
the oldsters.
Maybe they used to make those at Old Navy and they don't make them anymore.
That's true. So these were gifted to us. We had no cost. They sold for $15. Next up was 3 of Kevin's old 1992 Top Stadium Club baseball cards.
Yeah.
Baseball cards.
That was a nice set.
They sold for $6.32. Next up was a vintage 24-ounce dark amber brown glass apothecary bottle. We got that at a rummage sale for $1, and it sold for $26.18.
It's the second one of those we've sold in a month. If you find old vintage brown bottles like that,
or clear,
or clear green, but I think the brown and the green tend to do better.
Yeah,
but they sell.
Yeah, they do. Next up was an adult small Michigan State Spartans pullover sweatshirt. This was gifted to us, and it sold for $19.98. Next up was a pair of 100% wool brown pull-on pants by a designer named Caroline Rose. These were gifted to us, and they sold for $28. They were really heavy, nice wool pants. Next up was a lot of 2 jigsaw puzzles. These were both 1,000 piece. One of them was Rose Art and one was Hometown Collection, I guess. Different brands, but they were both new in the package. We got these at a garage sale for $1, and they sold for $27.99. Next up was a 1991 Bowman baseball card for the player Kenny Lofton. This was Kevin's.
This is a nice set.
And it sold for $2.29. What? I didn't hear you.
It was a nice set.
What?
It was a nice set.
Oh, okay. I think he said that it was a nice set. never heard that before, though.
I try and keep it fresh.
Yeah. Next up was a pair of L'Amour Toddler Girls light pink patent sandals. These came from the kids' shoe liquidation. We had paid $9.09 per pair. This brand, L'Amour, doesn't sell for as much, but we still make a little bit on them. These sold for $22.99. The other brand that we bought, which was Saltwater, those we usually make around 10 or 15 on.
Yeah.
So I just broke out our cost the same on each pair, but where the real money is coming in is
these
on
are old. Like these are like 3 or 4 years old when she bought these. So that's like we sunk that $9 a long time ago.
Yeah.
So really, it's just like getting the $9 also.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since we've been.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's like we made $11.
Yeah.
To us.
But it doesn't look so good on the
spreadsheet. But
yeah, it doesn't look as good on the L'Amours. But when we sell the Saltwaters, which we sell more often, although I'd like to get rid of those L'Amours, honestly.
I'd like to get rid of the
Saltwaters.
and
truly, actually, the L'Amour, in my opinion, the L'Amour shoes are cuter.
I have no preference.
Yeah. So if you're looking for kids' shoes, we got some cute ones. Okay. Next up is a pair of Levi's men's 511 skinny straight jeans. These were found in a storage unit for 24 cents, and they sold for $12 plus shipping on Poshmark. Nice. Next up was a 2008 Schleich rhinoceros figure. We got this at the thrift store in a toy bag, and we probably purchased the toy bag for this item because
it was Schleich.
It was Schleich, yeah. And I do remember actually at this particular thrift store picking up a bag and seeing a Schleich item in there. So we paid $1.61 for this particular toy bag. And the toy bags at this thrift store are a lot smaller than the other thrift store. So the per item cost on them is a little bit higher. But it sold for $15.98. So we still made, over $7 on it. Next up was a Coldwater Creek women's plus size heavy knit pull-on pair of pants.
That's the ones that are like the knockoff Chico's Travelers, right?
I don't think so because I would have put travel pants. I would have put travel pants, if you know what I mean.
Travel pants.
So these were gifted to us and they sold for $18.38. Next up was an item that I sold it because I just could not donate it. It was just too cute, even though I knew we weren't going to really make any money on it. I just couldn't see it like not going anywhere except to somebody who really wanted it because it was this teeny tiny little pewter duck and it was just the cutest thing ever. And I was like, even if I lose money on this, I just want this to go somewhere to somebody that likes it. I want to be assured that this is not going to the landfill. So it was like just on principle.
Yeah, we had that like 2.5 years.
Yeah. I got it at an estate sale and I think, yes, I got it at an estate sale for $2 and I had purchased a bunch of birds and duck figurines and I made my money at this estate sale a long time ago. So this brand was Spoontiques and it was a miniature. I mean, it was like 1.5 inches. It was teeny tiny little duck. It was so cute. This little duck figurine and it sold for $9.58, but we did make 84 cents. So yeah, the joke is on you, universe. All right. Next up was another of the amber glass apothecary bottles.
She listened to me. I know what I'm talking about.
This one we also got at a rummage sale. We got both of them at a rummage sale. This one, I think the other one came from a rummage sale. Yeah, it did.
I'm pretty sure it did.
It did. This one we paid $3.25 for, and it sold for $25. Next up was I would like to start off by saying no political talk. We sold this for money reasons and to keep it out of the landfill. We make no political statements and we sell things based on money and landfill reasons only, and we have sold things from both political parties. So with that in mind, this was a Trump International Hotel and Tower cinch backpack. This was gifted to us, and it sold for $15.98. And just to keep things equal, we have sold an Obama hat in the past. So. Okay, next up was a H&M. This was a light wash butterfly print pair of baggy jeans. These were Nina's and they sold for $18 plus shipping. Did they sell for plus shipping? Yes, plus shipping on Mercari. They must have
if we made $16 on them.
Yeah. Well, they had magical shipping. They sold for $18 plus shipping on Mercari. which was kind of out of the blue, but we have had a few Mercari sales lately.
We've had a few, not many.
Not many, but Mercari has been picking up. So maybe they're doing some things over there that people are liking, because Mercari
Possibly.
was really bad and we were having no sales, and now we've had a few sales.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for the best for Mercari, because I do like that app. So I hope that they get it together over there.
Yeah. Get your crap together.
Yeah,
Mercari.
get it together, Mercari. Speaking of cross-listing to places like Mercari and Poshmark and Etsy, we use List Perfectly to cross-list. We really love their app. Their app is excellent, but not only is their app excellent, the customer service team and the people who work at List Perfectly are like really top-notch. They always go above and beyond. They really just have the best customer service team and the best people working there. So I cannot recommend them enough. So if you are looking for a really great app to cross-list, I would definitely recommend checking out List Perfectly. We do have a link in the description box below, and we also have a coupon code. It is Nina's Jewels. And with that coupon code, you can get 30% off of your subscription. If you do use our link, just full disclosure, we do get some affiliate money for that. So we're not sponsored by List Perfectly, but it is an affiliate link. So just full disclosure on that. But we did want to mention that in case any of you guys are looking for a way to easily cross-list. List Perfectly
If you're
is a great
reselling,
way.
you should probably be cross-listing.
Definitely. Actually, I did some cross-listing last night, and we immediately sold things on other platforms. So I find that it is definitely
indeed
worth
works.
it. For sure.
Indeed works.
All right. Next up was a 2000 version of Microsoft Front Page software. And we found that in the Goodwill bins. Always pick up vintage software, because even if it doesn't sell for much, it always sells, in my opinion, my humble opinion. We paid 45 cents for that, and it sold for $24.99.
That's actually really good money.
I know. That was good. Yeah.
For stale software.
What is Front Page?
Front Page,
Like
from what I
publishing,
remember,
desktop publishing?
yeah, like you could make websites and stuff with it too, I think. It's been so long, I don't remember, but
You could probably make a killer website with it now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. GeoCities. All right.
Okay, next up was a Nepalese Lakta Sunkosi cloth paper. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it was a Buddha journal diary. And it was beautiful. It was handmade paper, just a beautifully made diary / journal. And Kevin had paid 51 cents for that at the thrift store. It sold for $15.98. But
I picked it up because it just looked really cool and really nice. I like that kind of style too, but I think nobody else picked it up.
because
Well, I think nobody else picked it up because they didn't know what to do with it, because it didn't have anything in it. Like, it was just a notebook.
yeah, it was just a journal.
And so they were like, normally those aren't worth anything, but this one just looked really cool. And they also didn't pick it up.
So the thrift store that we go to is the one that we like or have liked in the past. We've not been finding stuff there lately, and their prices have gotten insane. But they do this thing. They use these like wax pencils, I
Like a
guess you would call
crayon,
them. Yeah,
kinda.
it's actually like a wax pencil, and they have different colors that they use to write on stuff, and they just write directly on the item.
Like on a book.
And since this was made like a handmade paper, they took
Yeah.
this kind of like a burnt orange or a kind of
Umber.
a rusty, rust red pencil, and just wrote the price directly on this. And there's like, when you wipe it with any kind of wet wipe or anything, it just smears it into it, and it just stained this beautiful handmade paper. And so that's why it says this was a brand new item, and that's why it says flaw in the title, because they just ruin stuff with the way they price. And I know, actually, Piece of Scrap, if you guys are not following her on YouTube or Instagram or anything like that, she's constantly posting stuff on Instagram, especially of ways that her local Goodwill is pricing stuff, just taking a Sharpie and writing directly on the inside of stuff. It's just crazy. I just think thrift stores...
When they do that thing with the tag gun and they tag right through the side of a leather shoe.
Yes, it's so...
Now you have a big
frustrating. You
hole in the side of your shoe.
And they
they
staple price tags to stuff, but they staple it in like a place where then the staples will go through it and there'll be a hole in the item.
Here's a tip. If you're doing that to a shoe, why don't you go through one of the shoelace holes? Then you don't have to worry about it.
I know.
Or go through a place in the tongue that you can't see. Don't go through the outside of the shoe, buddy.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Very frustrating.
And also, our local Goodwills, they have these.
Their stickers do not come off.
Their stickers are like, I know they don't want people to be able to pull their stickers off, obviously.
But they should be able to peel off.
But they, like,
somehow.
I've tried to use Goo Gone. I've tried to use Goof Off. Mm-hmm. I've tried to use, like, the lighter fluid will sometimes also get sticky stuff off. We have the little label remover scrapers. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link in the description box below. And also you can find any of the products that we're mentioning in our Amazon store affiliate link below. Anyway, those Goodwill stickers that they put on those things, not only are they fingernail killers, like they will not come off.
It's that horrible kind of adhesive sticker that no matter what you do, you'll never get it off in one or two pieces.
Oh,
you're going to get little tiny scrapes and you're going to rip off the top layer and then you're going to have to slowly scrape off all of the... They're horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
I've spent like 15 minutes working on a Goodwill sticker before and I'm just... like, what is the point of this?
There's got to be a better system. I don't know what
it is. There's got to be a better way.
I guess there's a reason they went to the super adhesive. Like, people were switching prices and stuff, probably.
It's gotta be it.
Man, it's annoying.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. So let us know, what does your thrift store do to ruin their merchandise with their horrible tagging and pricing strategies? So anyway, moving on to what sold. The next item was a vintage 1993 lot of 5 Barbie replacement pieces from a bedroom playset. And we got this actually at that same estate sale where we got the software. Yes. These did, all of these pieces did have some sun fading. They weren't in perfect condition, but they sold for $19. We had only paid $1 for those. There was a bunch of like Barbie stuff in the garage of this house that they hadn't sorted through, which is I'm always happy to see that because that's where you get the good deals. And a lot of it was like really dirty and needed to be cleaned up. And I made a big box of Barbie stuff that I found and ended up getting all of it for like $15, but it was a huge, huge box.
If you see stuff like that, little stuff, don't go and ask for prices on individual little things. Yeah. Try and get a big box of it, and because then they'll give you a much better price.
Yeah. So I put everything that I could find that was Barbie in one box, and he gave me bulk pricing. Okay, next up was an item we got in the Waco Goodwill bins. This was a Fossil black pebbled leather handbag. We paid $2 for it and it sold for $27. If you guys haven't seen our Waco Goodwill bins video, it just aired.
It just dropped.
And that was one of our favorite bins in Texas. So make sure you also stay tuned because at the end of our Goodwill hunting series, we are going to do a complete review of all of the Goodwill bins in Texas.
We're going to rate them on different.
The rating of what our favorite is, who had the best prices, who had the best items, who had the
loudest.
Yes.
All that stuff.
All of
quietest,
that. So
best.
Stay tuned for that. It'll be very,
if you
very
live in
thorough.
Texas, it'll be very handy.
Yes.
If you don't, just enjoy for the fun of it.
Exactly. Or you can come visit us in Texas and go shopping with us. Yeah. Next up was a Nike women's royal purple pullover. We got this at a garage sale for $2 and it sold for $21.99.
I feel like we had that. No, we didn't have that very long at all.
I don't even remember where we got that.
For a couple of months. I don't remember that.
Which garage sale did we get that?
I don't remember that at all. It wasn't what I was thinking of because it looks like we had it about 2 months.
I think you must have gotten that at a garage sale because I don't remember that.
It's possible.
Next up was a 1995 Score Hall of Gold baseball card for the player Kirby Puckett. This was Kevin's and it sold for $2.79. It was a nice set. Next up was an Ivan. How's the brand? This was a 3.5-inch jeweled rhinestone bling Western Cowgirl belt buckle. We got this out of a storage unit for 28 cents and it sold for $15 plus shipping on Poshmark.
Oh, that thing was gaudy. I remember this
It
one
was
now.
very fancy.
It was
Yeah.
very fancy.
It was. Next up was a 2010 Pillow Pets Pee-wee. So this was one of the small ones, and it was a purple and pink unicorn. We got this at a garage sale for $1, and it sold for $16.99.
I like those little ones. They fit inside a regular size bag, and they ship really easily. I kind of like the small ones better.
Yeah. Pillow Pets always sell.
They do.
Yep. Next up was the second pair of Whataburger rubberized aviator sunglasses with the little cinch bag. Whataburger merch sells for us. I don't know why, but it always does. We got these for free at a garage sale. The lady was just like, oh, you can just have those. And these sold for $9. Next up is a brand to be on the lookout for. This is a fancy Western brand. It's called Hairston Robertson. Without a T, Robertson. This was a 100% wool Western jacket with embroidered arrows on it. And we got this at a garage sale, actually right across the street, but not the one where we got all the toys. This was a different one. We paid $5 for it, and this sold for $103.20.
And somebody gave us super feedback. They were so happy with it.
Yeah.
And they said they were going to some country person's concert.
Yeah.
Gonna wear it to that concert. They were very excited.
Yeah. Who was it? It was.
I'd never heard of the person. It was a female artist.
Oh yeah, it was yeah.
It's a female country artist, and that's not my gig, man.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that brand. Okay, next up was an item we got in one of the Houston bins. This was a Sleeping on Snow, which is an Anthropologie brand. This was an aqua and gray cashmere blend sweater. We paid $1.73 for it, and it sold for $39.98.
It's a pretty sweater.
It was. And that wraps up all of our sales from the week of February 2nd through 8th. So let's go over the totals. So we had 47 sales in total.
That is a lot.
And it was an average sale price of $22.58.
That's like the actual average sale. That's like our average sale price.
Our sales totaled $1,061.35, and that made for a net profit of $600.43.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That was a pretty good one. All right, well, that wraps up our video for this week. Let us know in the comments below what the most annoying thing is your thrift store does with pricing items. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, we would really appreciate it if you would, pretty please. And we would also like it if you would hit that thumbs up button, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.